all that being said, would I do it again? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a video that I'm actually pretty nervous about just because I think that acne is a topic that's very touchy for certain people and also is something that is talked about, but some people just aren't super open about it. So today I'm going to be very open about my acne, my history with acne, and probably what you're all here for, which is my experience with Accutane. Stay tuned. At the end of the video, I'm just going to talk about whether I would do Accutane again and whether I recommend it to other people. By the way, yes, I am wearing makeup right now, clearly, but I am going to put plenty of pictures throughout the video of myself without makeup on. Many of these pictures are extremely embarrassing, but I just want it to be helpful for you guys, so I'm just gonna post them on the internet anyway. Please be nice in the comments. I am still very self-conscious of my skin, as are many people, so be nice to each other. I used to be so embarrassed of my acne because I always had the thought of people are gonna think I don't wash my face, or people are gonna think I'm dirty, or whatever the case is, and it was exactly the opposite for me. I was overwashing my face and I was using all of these harsh chemicals and products on my skin that were just doing the opposite of what I wanted to do, which was clear my skin up. So today I'm just going to walk you through everything that has to do with acne. I really want to start off by telling you my story of acne and my history of acne, just so that you have a better idea of why I decided to go on Accutane and how my experience went. But for now, like I said, I just want to talk about my experience with acne. In high school, I was lucky enough to not really suffer from acne. I would get the occasional pimple here or there, but it was always just like small little whiteheads or things like that. None of it was cystic acne. It's also important to know that I was on birth control pills in high school. I was on birth control ever since I was 15. I went on birth control pills. It didn't really affect my acne. It affected my moods, but that's a whole different story. But as for my acne, again, it wasn't really affected. During this time also, I had never seen a dermatologist. I was using makeup wipes to take off my makeup. Didn't really know anything about skincare, but regardless, everything was working for me, and I just was a lucky one who didn't have acne at this point. Okay, fast forward to senior year, I was done with birth control pills. I couldn't do it anymore. That's a whole nother story. If you guys are interested on my experience with birth control pills and now what I currently use, then please let me know. I would be more than happy to do that. Yes, I was done with birth control pills, so I decided to get an IUD. With getting an IUD, obviously, I was going to stop birth control pills and switch over to the IUD, which is definitely messing a lot with your hormones. I am not a scientist. I don't know all of the research and everything, but I do know that you're getting a certain type of either hormone or hormones with an IUD, as well as you're getting hormones with birth control pills as well. But for me, making the switch to the IUD really affected my skin. When I got off of birth controls, my skin flared up. I have pictures that I'll insert here. The bottom half of my face, so my jawline and my cheeks, were covered with cystic acne, and I mean covered. People have definitely had it worse than me, and I'm not trying to take their spotlight away from them, but it was bad and I was embarrassed, and I just started caking on the makeup. I mean, I wore so much makeup, I would hug someone and makeup would come off on their shirt because I was just wearing so much makeup. Which, again, if you want to wear a ton of makeup, there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, I wasn't wearing makeup to make myself feel beautiful. I was wearing makeup because I was so ashamed of my skin. I didn't want people to think that I wasn't washing my face, even though I was doing just the opposite. But yes, my skin started flaring up. It was really bad, and I didn't really know what to do. This is something that I had never experienced, so I kind of was just going with the flow. I was trying new products, but I was, again, putting all these harsh chemicals on my skin that my skin was like, whoa, and it would just continue to flare up. So transitioning into my freshman year of college, I remember we were going out a ton, and it was the first couple weeks of school. We had gone out one night and I had, of course, caked on a ton of makeup, and then we came back to my apartment and I was getting ready for bed. There was a boy who was in my apartment. He was like a friend of a friend, and I knew him and we were friendly, but we weren't super close. But he came into my bathroom while I was taking off my makeup, and he saw what I looked like without makeup on, and he said something along the lines of like, whoa, that's different and like scary type of thing, talking about my skin. And this was the point when I was like, okay, I'm going to do something about this because I was so embarrassed. And looking back now, that's so sad, because you shouldn't let what someone else's opinion of you change what you do or what you want to do. But of course, I was so self-conscious at this point, so I finally was like, okay, I need to see a dermatologist. So this transitions me into my experience with a dermatologist. I saw the dermatologist in Boston. It's called the Dermatology Institute of Boston, and they definitely helped my skin. I kind of went through different waves with them. So at first they put me on spironolactone and Accutane. Spironolactone was a pill that I was taking on an everyday basis, and Accutane was a cream that I was applying to my face at night. Spironolactone works for a lot of people. It actually really does. There's a lot of research that says it works for people, but for me, for some reason, it didn't work. Accutane worked for me, but the moment I stopped using it, my acne would just flare right back up again. So it was kind of a short-term solution. So after trying that for a little bit, I went back to the dermatologist and they decided to put me on doxycycline. Similar to spironolactone, doxycycline isn't a medication that's intended to treat acne. It's for something else. I don't remember what it is for, but as a side effect of whatever it is for, it helps with acne. So they put me on doxycycline, we stopped the Accutane, and they kept me on spironolactone. So at this point, I'm on spironolactone and doxycycline. The doxycycline really helped my skin, but one night I took it and went to bed. I guess I didn't wait long enough after taking it to lie down, so it got stuck in my throat, and I got an ulcer in my throat from it. It burned a hole in my esophagus. Again, a story for another time. Now I have to tell any doctor I'm talking to that I'm allergic to doxycycline because my body doesn't react well to it. After trying those didn't work. At this point, I'm so frustrated. I'm just tired of trying things that's not working. I'm embarrassed. My skin is only getting really worse at this point because I keep changing up what I'm doing. So finally, I talked to my dermatologist and we decided that going on Accutane would be an option for me that could work. Now, if you don't know what Accutane is, I did pull it up on my laptop, which is right here. I wanted to be able to tell you guys the exact definition of what Accutane is. So according to a website online that I will link down below, Accutane is a naturally occurring derivative of vitamin A and is detectable in the bloodstream of all people. So as you can see, it's just a really large dose of vitamin A that you're giving your body. Like this says, vitamin A, we all have it, but with taking Accutane, you're getting a lot more of it a lot quicker. So that is what Accutane is. It's a really strong form of vitamin A. Now, when you go to your dermatologist and you tell them that you want to be on Accutane, or they suggest it to you, one of the first things that you guys will talk about is birth control. With Accutane, when you're on it, if you get pregnant, there is a very high chance that your baby will be born with birth defects or that something could happen within the pregnancy. So when you decide to go on Accutane, you have to pledge to be on 2 forms of birth control for the duration of your experience with Accutane. For me at this point, I had an IUD, like I mentioned, and I also pledged to use condoms. With this, you have to go online to a system called iPledge every month, and you have to pledge that you are still using these forms of birth control. And you also have to answer a few questions just so that they know that you're still knowledgeable about what you're doing and what you're taking and putting into your body. Another aspect of starting Accutane is you have to get pregnancy tests. You have to do urine samples and they make sure that you're not pregnant. I had to do these every single time I went into the office for a checkup, but it might depending on your doctor. So obviously check with your doctor, they'll let you know. And then the other thing you have to do is blood tests. I had to do 3 blood tests, I believe, throughout the time that I was on Accutane, but I don't really mind getting my blood taken or getting shots. Needles don't really freak me out, but if they freak you out, then that's something to definitely consider and take into account because it will happen multiple times and you don't have a choice. You have to get it, otherwise they won't fill your prescription. Another thing I should have mentioned, you have to be careful drinking on it. You can't drink a ton of alcohol on it. You're adding alcohol and drugs and you're putting them together, and that's a combination for a disaster. So that's another thing you have to think about. That is a little bit of background on Accutane. Again, I know this is a lot of information, but I just want to give you everything so that you know what you're getting yourself into when you get onto Accutane. For my experience with Accutane, I was on Accutane for, I believe, 5 months. It depends how long you'll be on it for the doses that you're getting and also for the severity of your skin. My skin was what I thought was really bad, but people have it a lot worse than me, so I actually didn't need to be on it for too long, and my dosage was also not super high. I don't remember the exact dosage, otherwise I would tell you, but it varies person to person, so you just need to talk to your doctor and they will obviously recommend what is best for you. So I started Accutane, and the #1 main side effect of Accutane, at least that most people experience, is dryness. This means dryness with your hair, with your skin, with your lips, with your body, I mean dryness everywhere. Everywhere you can think of, you are dry. My lips were cracked up my cheeks up to like here. They were cracked and it was just raw skin. My skin was extremely dry. I mean, I was constantly putting on moisturizer and it still looked like I never moisturized my skin. And I never really noticed any dryness with my hair, so I was lucky with that, and dryness other places I didn't really experience. For me, mostly it was my skin and my lips. My lips were the number one thing where I was just like, I needed help. So with that being said, I do have some products that I definitely recommend that I will link down below. Basically, your dermatologist will tell you to use all simple products. You don't want products with fragrances or with certain acne treatments like salicylic acid. You don't want to add that on top of the Accutane that you're already on. At least that is what most dermatologists will tell you. So you want to use things like Cetaphil or CeraVe or things like that that are super gentle on your skin. You also have to be very careful of things like the sun, because you are now at a higher risk of burning in the sun because of the amount of vitamin A in your body. You also don't want to make the mistake of waxing. Do not wax your skin. I waxed my skin too soon after getting off of Accutane. I wasn't even taking any more, but I still had enough in my body that I waxed my upper lip, and I had a mustache of raw skin on my upper lip for like 2 weeks, and it was terrifying. I mean, it was terrible. So now I want to talk about whether I would do it again or not. Accutane is a serious drug. It's not something that dermatologists prescribe lightly, and it's not something that most dermatologists will prescribe your first visit to their office or your first attempt at figuring out your acne. Between the risks of dangerous pregnancy, to the dryness on your skin, to the amount of vitamin A that you're getting in your body, to the burning in the sun, there are so many different things that make Accutane a very serious drug and a drug that you don't want to play with. With all that being said, would I do it again? Yes, I would. I would absolutely do it again. My worst side effect was the super dry lips, and I hated it. I mean, it was not cute. I was embarrassed, and I tried to cover it up with makeup, but it didn't work really well. So I kind of just was like, whatever, I'm doing this for my skin, and people never said anything to me. Did they notice? Maybe. I don't really know. But even with all that being said, I would do it again. My skin is nowhere near where it was before I started Accutane, and even with the side effects that I had, I would absolutely do it again. It really helped to clear my skin up, and not only that, but keep the acne away. I don't remember if I mentioned earlier in the video, but the dermatologist said that my acne was all hormonal. Because I, again, made that switch between birth controls, my acne was hormonal, and that means that I couldn't really do anything about it if I wanted to keep the IUD, which I did. So Accutane was the only thing that actually worked for me. It made a difference. I'll put some before and after pictures here. You can see how much Accutane helped my skin. Was it hard during the process? Yeah. And was it like super fun to do? No, it wasn't. My advice to anyone who is considering Accutane or considering seeing a dermatologist is just do it. I wish I saw a dermatologist sooner and that I got the help I needed sooner, but I was ashamed and embarrassed, and there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Just because you have acne, it does not mean that you are dirty. It does not mean that you don't wash your face, and it does not mean that you are less beautiful than someone with clear skin. We all have pores, we all have things that get trapped under our skin, and some of us just show those in acne, and other people, for some reason, they don't get acne, but that doesn't mean that they are any more beautiful or worth more than you are with acne. I'm going to wrap up this video here because I know I have blabbed and blabbed and blabbed this entire video. I'm sorry if this was kind of a mess and all over the place, but I really just wanted to get as much information out that I could. Again, I will have different resources down below, so I'll have a website about Accutane, and I'll also have a bunch of different products that I recommend if you're going on Accutane. Specifically, there's one lip balm that I recommend that is medicated lip balm, and it saved my lips. So I will put that down below as well. If you have any questions that I didn't answer in this video or anything you're concerned about with Accutane, please leave them down below and I will do my best to respond to them, or if I don't know the answer, to direct you in a place that would know the answer. I really just want this to be an open and honest conversation, and yeah, I really hope that this helped any of you who are considering going on Accutane. If Accutane is the path that you decide to go through for your acne, then it will be worth it. At least it was for me, and I hope it is for you too. That is all that I have for today, and I will see you in my next video.